business is not our life, but it really, at our heart and our core, it is. And that doesn't mean that it has to overpower our lives, but it definitely plays on confidence in everything.
Welcome back to Duo On Air. I'm Abby.
And I'm Courtney.
And we're the ex-agency turned entrepreneurial team that puts the Duo in Duo Collective. Our boutique organic marketing agency specializes in SEO, social media strategy, and branding.
We're an everyday pair of business besties / marketing experts obsessed with helping our community learn more about what it takes to run a business.
Which is why on Duo On Air, we're not holding anything back. We're giving you all the info we know about how to grow your business organically so you can be the confident CEO you were made to be.
And how to navigate life as a small business owner.
Whether it's on your own or with your best friend by your side, so grab your coffee
or your mimosa, we don't judge,
and settle in for a quick value-packed episode of Marketing Tips.
Welcome back to the Duo On Air podcast. This is episode number 192, and today we have a special guest joining us, Dana from DWD Travel and Destination Weddings. Dana has been a client of ours for years and just recently worked with us to do a complete rebrand of her business. And while we could talk all day about how dreamy this rebrand was, today we're specifically talking about how you can take your brand to that next level and go beyond just the digital space. So what exactly does this mean? It means taking all of those gorgeous new brand assets and applying them to things like custom wallpaper for your office, custom apparel, blankets, and more. Dana has done just that. She's taken her brand assets one step further and started really living her brand to the fullest. Hello, Dana, and thank you so much for being on the Duo On Air podcast. We're so excited to have you today, and I cannot wait to dive into this fun branding topic. I'm going to let you introduce yourself, but before I do, I just want to give a little background for our audience. So this is Dana from DWD Travel, and she has been a client of ours for, oh my gosh,
a long time.
5 years. Like you might have been there
Yeah.
like right when we started.
I feel like
Don't even know how you found us, but we've been internet
Instagram.
besties ever since Instagram. There we go. And it has been so great being in Dana's business basically from day one, since when we started. And just recently she came to us for a rebrand and a website overhaul, SEO, all of the things that we offer. And we just recently launched that, oh gosh, maybe a month ago, 2 months ago.
Yeah, it's been about 2 months, I think.
Yeah. So we're so excited to have her on today. And what we're going to be talking about is how she's actually taken her brand and really like lived her brand. Like Dana is the perfect example of living your brand, because when people think about their brands, they think about like website, social, all of those fun digital things. But Dana's really taken it a step further and built her brand into her office, into the things that she wears, all of those things. So I'm not going to get too into it right now because I'm going to let her talk a little bit about herself and do a little bit of bragging. So why don't you tell our audience a little bit about what you do before we dive in more?
Awesome. Well, first of all, thank you so much for having me.
Of course.
I'm excited to talk about all this fun stuff. My name is Dana. I own DWD Travel and Destination Weddings. Essentially, I plan destination weddings in Mexico and the Caribbean, as well as honeymoons and vacations across the world. So I have a pretty fun, albeit stressful job.
You have such a fun job. Yes, I can't even imagine like being able to travel and work with all of those types of families and people who are getting married. So
super fulfilling.
Yes. Oh, I bet. Okay. So when's your next trip and where?
So I'm so excited. We leave in a little over 3 weeks. The four of us, so my husband and our 2 kids, we have twins, a boy and a girl, and we are going to start out in London and then venture to Finland. My kids have no idea about this part, but we're going to search for Santa. And we're going to find him.
Stop.
Yes.
That's incredible.
We're going to go stay in one of those glass igloos and hopefully see the Northern Lights.
Oh my gosh, stop. I am so jealous, but I'm so excited for you. When did you say that was?
It's going to be the week of Thanksgiving. So we're skipping Thanksgiving this year.
Okay. That sounds like the best Thanksgiving ever, though.
Yeah.
That is so incredible. Oh my gosh. I cannot wait to see photos. People, you need to follow along. Dana posts so many beautiful photos, and you're so good about like being active in your stories. Although I would say like make sure to like don't be too active. Have fun while you're
Yes,
there.
yes. I'll
That's
try.
that's always the fine line. But the igloo thing, that sounds so cool. My husband and I, we went to Iceland, oh gosh, 4 years ago, maybe now.
I
And we
remember.
were hoping to see the Northern Lights, and we
Yeah.
didn't end up seeing them. But we definitely want to go back to Iceland. But I'm so
Yeah.
excited. And the Santa part, that is so
Yes.
adorable. They're
Yes.
going to love that.
So that part just came about as a fluke, really. I just was asking around for people who'd been to Finland, and I wanted to go to Finland because that's where those glass igloos are, or the OG glass igloo is there.
Yeah.
And so that's how I narrowed it down. And then I ended up finding this whole like search for Santa thing, because apparently that's where Santa lives. And so it's just morphed into this whole thing, and I can't wait.
That's
I love
so
Christmas.
exciting.
I love Christmas
Yes.
like you love Halloween. So
I've seen your stories that you're just ready for like this Saturday to come, and you're like, we're decorating, we're doing
yes,
it.
we are. I already told the
That's
kids
awesome.
we're decorating and getting ready for Christmas.
That's awesome. Well, I'm sure a handful of our followers feel the same. Okay, so we're going to dive into it. So today, what Dana and I are going to be talking to you guys about is specifically how to kind of live and breathe your brand outside of just the digital world. We always think about websites, we always think about social, all of those things. But when it comes to other things, it might kind of just fall flat. People don't necessarily think about the other things that they can do to really amplify their brand and step into their brand. And Dana has done a great job of this, and she's taken her brand so much further than just that digital space. If you are watching the video right now, you'll see behind her, she's got wallpaper, she's got a blanket, she's wearing a sweatshirt and a hat, like they're all branded, and it's so incredible. So it's been really fun to see Dana step into that and actually like live and breathe her brand outside of just the digital space. So what made you want to bring your branding into those physical everyday touch points?
I feel like it just kind of comes natural for me, but I'll tell you about my office. So it started with the scarf you see hanging behind me that my husband got for me in Paris. And I decided to have it framed, and it just so happened we were in the midst of you designing my new branding, and the colors actually work with the new branding. They were perfect. And that was not intentional. It just happened. And then sort of morphed from there. I saw someone's office that had wallpaper and a wall hanging on it. And it was a lot, but yet it worked without being overly busy. And so that's where I kind of started with the vision with the scarf and the wallpaper. And it turns out that you can order custom wallpaper.
That was when you emailed us and you were like, I got custom wallpaper, I'm going to do it. We were so excited. We were like, we cannot wait to see this come to life. And it is gorgeous. It's absolutely gorgeous.
Thank you. And I'm sort of an all or nothing person. So here we are with the custom wallpaper. After the fact, highly recommend. During 0 stars, do not recommend, because it was really tough hanging it, making everything match. But
right.
It turned out beautifully.
Yeah, that's awesome. We'll include some of these pictures of Dana's office and everything in the show notes too, if you haven't followed along, but it's incredible. And yeah, you do have the pattern is very ornate. So I'm sure just like lining that up and getting that perfect was a little frustrating, but it turned out okay, but nobody's going to notice. Yeah. Nobody will ever notice.
My head covers up the worst part.
Strategic.
Yeah.
I love it. So would you say that scarf was kind of your inspiration to like build on your brand and add all of these assets to your office? Or did you already know going into it with the rebrand that you were going to potentially get custom wallpaper and do all of these things within your surrounding space for your brand?
I knew that I would update my office. My old branding was very bright and tropical. And it still is tropical, just in a very different way, in a more like pastels, sunset, cotton candy skies way. Whereas before it was like bright green, bright pink. So I knew that I would want to update my office. I had no idea that custom wallpaper would come about. I'm so glad it did. It turned out perfect.
Yes.
And I just I utilized a lot of things that I already had, but just made them work better for the space. I had a lot of like florals and things that were bright and wall hangings that just didn't work anymore, or just weren't my taste anymore. We evolve, and as much as I loved the pink and green, it just didn't feel like me anymore, and it definitely didn't feel like my brand anymore. So that all just came very, very natural in updating everything.
Yes, I love it. So outside of the wallpaper, what are other things that you have done for your brand as far as like printing things or adding things outside of that digital space with your branding?
So the very first thing, even before the new branding was live, I went to a conference and I needed updated business cards. And I thought, okay, there's no reason for me I needed more business cards. There's no reason for me to purchase more of the old. Let me just go ahead and do it with the new branding. And this particular conference, I had a table and vendors came to me. And I wanted them to have a little treat as they walked through, because they're meeting with people, person after person after person. So I decided to do mints and got branded mints, the yummy little butter mints. I have jars of them everywhere. My kids sneak them. So I'll find little cute DWD wrappers all over the place. So that's kind of where I started. And then from there decided, okay, I need some branded t-shirts, sweatshirts, eventually hats.
You've got a blanket behind you.
Yes, I ordered this blanket. I've got mailers and packing tape. You know how Amazon has their, the packing tape they use is branded. I got the same thing, but branded, for me. Just little touches like that. In one setting, it looks like a lot, but then, as you slowly, send these things out, it's just those little touches that people may not think about. And I hope they appreciate it.
Yeah. I think we've talked about this in the past before. I think experience like that for your clients, particularly if you're mailing them something and it's like in this branded package and, there might be branded pieces inside. It's such a surprise and delight for people because when you think about, especially packaging design, and I know yours is, the outer package, but it's just when somebody opens up a package and it's like curated beautifully for them and it's the brand and it's all of these beautiful things that represent who that person is, it feels like something special made uniquely for you, right? You're not just getting another brown Amazon box or another Target box. It's very unique and special, and it's an experience. So it's really that experience for somebody. And we've talked about this in the past on how brand packaging in general is so important when you're sending things out because it just shows that you took that little bit of extra time. You're really thinking about them. You're really living and breathing your brand. And that is so important for your clients or the consumer to see that you are going above and beyond, even if it's just these little things versus just sending it in a brown paper bag or whatever that might be. So I love that you've even done that. We can include images of those in the show notes too. You tagged us on stories a few weeks ago, I think, and that was so cute. I was like, look at all these cute things. Like every time I watch your stories, I feel like I see a new branded thing. So I absolutely love it. We also had talked about, you looked into the Stanleys because Dana and I are obsessed with Stanleys.
Yes.
And I found one that is actually,
it's beautiful.
Sipping out of it right now.
I feel
it's
like
actually,
it could work for my brand too. I might have to get
It could, you should. Yes. But you found a company that can etch onto a Stanley. And so I think you were maybe looking into the pattern being etched onto a Stanley, but it's incredible what you can find and how you can brand things just by doing like a quick Google search, like what you can do. I'm sure you've worked with multiple different vendors and companies for all of the things that you've done, but you really can brand about anything if you want to.
Absolutely anything. And I think, you talked about sending someone something in the mail and including items inside that are branded. And I think it's important to have sort of a healthy balance in that. like I'm not sending them oodles of DWD swag, although I want them
Right.
to have DWD swag. I'm also sending them something a little more personable, but it doesn't have to be branded to DWD, but it could be like in my colors. That way it's sort of timeless for them and not necessarily a walking advertisement for me, though I do want them to advertise for me.
No,
so
but
it
I'm
doesn't
glad
necessarily have to be physically have my name on it. You know, it can also be just something in the color that works or what have you.
I love that you said that because it is that fine balance because sometimes, you know, when you go to these events or if I get something, you know, from somebody in the mail and they have their logo on a Yeti or something like that, I'm like, oh, that's great.
Exactly.
Like I love having like a drinkware, but also for me, sometimes it's like, I just want it plain, like, because
Yes,
then I can just bring it
I
anywhere. Right.
absolutely agree. And I
So
think
there is
that's
that fine balance.
and I think that's why I'm excited for the cup that I found to be etched. It's just a pattern. So it won't have DWD on it, but it will be this beautiful pattern that I know is branded, and it starts a conversation. Oh, hey, I love your cup. And then I can naturally talk about my brand and my business and what I do and that sort of thing. So it doesn't have to necessarily be in your face, sort of like our hats. You know, it doesn't say Duo, it doesn't say DWD, but I know this is one of my images, and it's going to start a conversation because it's really pretty.
It is so cute. Like I would buy that hat at a store. And like you said, it doesn't have your branding. It's not like a huge walking billboard shouting in somebody's face like, "Hey, this is my brand. Look at me. Like come follow me, find me, you know, sign up with me, buy the thing from me." But it's just this cute symbol that somebody could be like, "Wow, I love that. I kind of want one." And like our hat's the one that I'm wearing right now if you're watching this. We've got our little Duo peace sign too. It's just very it's
subtle.
It's subtle. Yes, it's subtle enough where somebody could maybe want one themselves and not in their face, but also you know that it means something to you because it's a part of your brand. So I love that. I love that we had that little tangent there, but I think that's important for people to know because we are in the day and age where people want simplicity or people want something to feel kind of like it's theirs. So you don't want your actual logo on something, but if you can play off of your patterns or your illustrations or your icons, that's a really nice way to bring in your brand without screaming it.
Yes.
So my next question is all around like confidence. So we've had a lot of clients in the past come to us and they lack the confidence in their current brand, but they also lack the confidence in rebranding because they're not sure, right? So they're kind of unsure about, you know, I've lived in this brand for years. I'm really scared about rebranding. I feel like you and I had a little bit of those conversations at the beginning because,
absolutely,
you know, it's hard.
That pink and green, like I feel like I was known for that pink and green.
Yeah. And
but
it's
it was
hard to kind of like let go of the baby that you built for years and start over and start fresh. So with your rebrand, I know that you were so excited along the whole process. You were very grateful for everything. And that was very clear. But with the things that you've printed and the space that you've created with your rebrand, like your office and the apparel that you wear and all of those things, have you felt your confidence shift? Like, has it shifted and become, you feel like you're stepping into your brand and very confident about your brand because you are inviting it to the space that you're physically in?
Absolutely. I would also say not only confident in the brand, more confident in my business and more confident in myself. It just all plays on each other. I know we talk about, you know, work-life balance. Our business is not our life, but it really, at our heart and our core, it is. And that doesn't mean that it has to overpower our lives. But it definitely plays on confidence in everything. It really does. And I will say I also, in my own like personal wardrobe, have gravitated towards, you know, pulling out those pieces that scream the pink and green and leaning in more towards the subtle colors of my new branding. And I feel like that's kind of where the transition comes and really living the brand look.
Mm-hmm.
And that I think helps grow the confidence in the new brand and in your business.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's so important. We've talked about this multiple times. Just the way you show up and the way you talk to your clients and the way you show up on social and just like the way you sound when you speak, it all comes through with this confidence that when you feel confident in your brand, you kind of want to show it off. And I feel like
Yeah,
you've done such a
absolutely.
good job of that, of showing off your brand. And Abby and I are sitting over here and we're like, we're brand experts and we've been in this for going on 6 years now. And I feel like you have way more brand and stuff outside, like in the physical space than we do. So I feel like I'm even
I don't
learning
know if
stuff from
that's
you
true.
because every time I see like a new sweatshirt or a new hat of yours, I'm like, oh man, we should be doing that. That's so cute. Because I feel like a lot of your stuff is embroidered too, which again takes it to a whole nother level, I would say, of sophistication. Not that you can't just like print on a sweatshirt or anything, but that embroidered, I feel like it fits your brand, right? It's a little
Yes.
bit of that level of sophistication. And so it's just, and it looks a little bit higher quality and higher end, right? And I love that. So every time I see your embroidered stuff, I was like, Abby, we got to get on this. We got to start embroidering stuff and we got to get a wallpaper background of our pattern. And it's just so fun to see because I've always dreamed of a space like your office space. And right now our house doesn't totally allow for it, but I really love what you've done with your space because I can almost just see every morning you stepping into it and being like, this is my space. This is where I get to, be creative and have fun and work with my clients and really show up the way that I want to. So I think it goes to say that like, even just updating your space with these little branded things, I have a few things at my desk. It really makes you feel like you're kind of stepping out of your day-to-day role as a
Yes.
mom or as a wife or as a pet owner or whatever it is that you do outside of work. It allows you to kind of step out of that and
Yep.
step into your zone of genius and feel really good and confident about it because you've got your brand surrounding you. So I think
Yes.
it's just it does this thing to us where it just gets us excited and helps us to really feel confident in everything that we're doing.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So what is your most favorite thing that you've done with your brand as far as like printing or creating something? Is it the wallpaper? Although
It
it was a
has
pain.
to be. Yeah. I think it's the wallpaper. It's it just feels so luxurious and high end. And that's not, but yet it feels comfortable. Is that would that be the right word?
I think
Because
yeah.
I'm not necessarily this luxurious high-end brand, but I feel like the look of my branding it's so leveled up. I love it.
And it's sophisticated. Yeah.
Yes,
And it does have this
sophisticated is the
like,
right word.
sophisticated, warm. It's got a touch of that luxury to it. So I feel like, the wallpaper probably, it's like the biggest thing in your space, right? And it really, I think probably sets the tone for the whole entire space. And then you can add these other things to it that really like bring it together.
Yes.
Your wallpaper is by far my favorite so far. However, if you do the Stanley with the pattern, that might be one of my favorites.
I'm excited to do that. Hopefully I'll get that
Yes.
on order this week.
And then we'll show our audience. So what advice would you give to other small business owners who want to bring their brand beyond the digital space? Because I think if somebody is, listening to this today or even just watching this video, they can clearly see your like full brand. So it could be overwhelming to some people. They might just be like, well, I got my website and my social. I don't know how to live my brand outside of the digital space. So what is some of the advice that you would give them based on the process and what you've done with your brand?
Definitely start small. You don't have to go all in, all out like I have. That's just my personality. But start small with branded mailers if you mail things out, stickers. T-shirts are very simple to either make yourself or order. But I would say probably one of the most impactful things is your own personal wardrobe. And it doesn't have to be branded items. It could just be, you know, I love to go thrifting. We've talked about this before. In one of my recent thrifting adventures, I found 3 or 4 dresses for, $4 or $5 a piece in my new brand colors. Start there and just kind of gradually introduce more of those colors into your everyday wardrobe. And then you're just gonna, it'll just start exuding and stacking up to create more and more of that feeling. But you don't have to go all in all at once. Start slow.
Yeah. Yeah. Unlike Dana, start slow.
Yeah.
If you're overwhelmed.
Do as I say, not as I do.
If you're not overwhelmed, dive fully in.
Yes.
I love that. I'm glad you brought up the thrifting piece too, because that's something that I never really got into was thrifting. But I think in my age, I'm like, you know what? I don't need to be giving Amazon more money. I actually want to see these things before I purchase them. And thrifting is such a great place to start, especially if you don't want to spend too much, if you want to make sure it fits right and it's your brand colors. Heidi on our team, actually, she's a big thrifter too. And for our duo retreat, she thrifted all of our outfits. And I thought for sure, I was like, with our brand colors, I was like, Heidi, you're not going to find anything. But I'm like, that's cute that you think you can. And she did.
Absolutely.
She
and for everyone on your team.
For everyone, for 6 or 7 girls, it was insane. And so when I saw that she could do that and she brought all of these cute things that fit our styles, we all made like Pinterest boards. So she knew like our style of clothing. And then she got those pieces in our colors and it came together so beautifully. And I was really shocked. And so then I told myself, I can do this. I can thrift and find my brand colors and get really excited about it too. So you don't need to spend an arm and a leg. You can start small, like Dana said, do some thrifting. And I think that's a part of it too, where people don't realize that your brand can come to life via your wardrobe. And again, like not printed stuff necessarily, but just like a dress that you might want to wear or a shirt that you find. That's something that I've always loved to do for Duo is find Abby and I outfits before our photo shoots.
Yes.
Stuff like that is so minimal, but it goes so far. And it takes your brand photography to a whole nother level as well.
Yep. And I mean, you think of it from the perspective of not only a brand photo shoot, which is going to happen one day.
I can't wait to see
space. But just in your day-to-day and the day-to-day photos that you take and videos that you share on social media, then you already fit the aesthetic of your feed or whatever you're looking to do. Not that you have to do that, but you're there and it shows. And I think people notice. I notice.
Yeah, I agree. I have a section in my closet that's like the Duo section. So if I feel like, today I'm just kind of keeping it kind of plain, but still wearing the hat.
Yes.
But I have pinks and oranges. And so when I wake up in the morning, if I'm like, I'm going to be on a client call or I'm going to be doing a video, I'll put on my pink sweatshirt and something else. So I always tell people too, if our branding is our colors, pink and orange, are not what I wear on the daily. Like that's not my norm. But when I step into my brand, I'm really excited because those are our brand colors. So I have my Duo section in my closet and it's like the fun, wild color of my closet. The rest of it's pretty neutral. But if that's something that you want to do too, your brand colors can be something outside of your everyday life, but you have a tiny wardrobe for them in your closet. So clothing can go so far, branded or, with logos on it or not. Just being in that color palette is so strong too. So I'm glad you brought that up. So looking ahead, do you already have more creative ideas or expanding for your brand into physical products? I know we kind of talked about the Stanley, but are there other things that you're like, I want to do that, or that's in the future?
So I am dreaming of a custom scarf to wear.
Yes, we have talked about this.
Yes. So icons, patterns, however we can marry it all together. And not necessarily with a big bold DWD logo on it, but just melding all those elements together and maybe making it personable with, an icon of New York City or something like that. That's very special to me personally.
I love that.
yeah, in some way, and for me to wear it, and it'll just be one of those conversational pieces.
I think I love that too, that you've mentioned like the conversational thing, because that's something we like to talk about our brands and our
Mhm.
business, right?
But
So
we
when
don't
you're
always
out,
like to just say, "Hey, let me tell you about my brand."
right, you want it
We
to be
want,
somebody asks you something. Like,
yes,
"Where'd you get that scarf?" Or like, "I love your hat.
yes,
What does that mean?"
yes.
So it's really bringing people in again, kind of subtly,
Hmm.
and versus like, "Oh, here's my logo, here's my brand." We want to wear these things and be surrounded by these things that get us excited and that mean
Hmm.
something to us that somebody else might notice and ask you about too, because then there's always that story that we
Yep,
can tell them. So I love that. Well, thank you so much. This was so much fun,
this was
and
fun.
I can't wait until like I just can't wait to see how you continue to expand your brand, because it's been such a joy watching this, because you really just took off and it was so exciting and so fun.
Well, thank you
We'll
guys for making
include,
it easy
of course,
with this
yes.
beautiful
Um,
branding and website. You guys did an amazing job, far exceeded my expectations of anything I could have dreamed up. So
yes, it's lovely. We were so
thank you.
excited for you. We'll include some photos and maybe some links if there's
Yes.
places that you particularly love to work with, as far as like printing some fun brand stuff. So why don't you tell our audience where they can find you, and if you have anything fun that you would like to promote or tell them about?
Okay. You can find me online. My website's dwdtravel.co. I'm just about on all the socials, DWD Travel and Weddings. If you follow me on Instagram, you'll see in my stories all the time and get to see kind of behind the scenes of all the pretty branding things and what I'm up
Yes.
to. Follow along on that big trip coming up. And I have a fun quiz that you guys helped me bring to life that I'm excited about. It's dwdtravel.co/quiz, and it will help you figure out where you should go on your next vacation.
I need to go do that quiz. And then you
Yes,
can help me.
yes, yes.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Dana. If you haven't followed along, please follow Dana. She's a gem, and she just makes me want to travel all of the time. And then, yes, you'll get to see some behind the scenes of her beautiful brand.
Well, thank you
Thank
guys
you.
so much.
Yes. Thanks, Dana. If you liked this episode, please be sure to share it with a friend and subscribe so you don't miss any new episodes dropping every Monday. Plus, if you haven't already, please leave us a review and don't hesitate to share any new episode ideas. We love hearing from you and creating this content for you. See you next week.